months ago, I struggled to run 5 miles at a 10-minute per mile pace. Now I run the same distance at 7 minutes per mile. And these 4 simple tips will help you do the same. So right now I'm headed out on a 6-mile interval run at a 7-minute per mile pace is what I have scheduled, but I definitely will not be able to hit that. And that flows perfectly into today's topic, which is the right balance of easy runs, long runs, and tempo runs. I still haven't found the perfect balance for me yet, which may not even be possible. But I have made the mistake of running my easy runs and long runs closer to a tempo pace. And once I started running my easy runs at a more comfortable pace, I was actually able to run my tempo runs close to 20 seconds per mile faster than I was before. Oh my gosh. All right, so post-run thoughts. That was not a very good run at all. And I just want to explain why it wasn't a very good run. I think an underrated topic in running is focus. If you're not focused on your runs, you're not going to be able to run your best run possible. Now, today was one of those days where my mind was elsewhere. My mind was in the future or in the past, thinking about things which really don't matter currently in this moment. And when I'm not in this present mode, I sacrifice a lot of focus in my runs, which today was a terrible run. And I probably could have gotten 1.5 times the amount of work done to my body if I was focused and intentional. But this kind of does tie into the balance of your easy, tempo, and long runs. Because if you're not focused on how fast you're running in those runs, they can easily transfer from an easy run to a tempo run or a tempo run to an easy run. A good tip that I like to follow to balance my tempo, easy, and long runs is try and run the majority of your runs easy. I personally run 3 easy runs a week. I also run 1 tempo run a week and 1 long run a week. Today was an interval run. I kind of count that as a tempo. Ever since I've started prioritizing my easy runs a little bit more and making sure that those easy runs I just run them at a comfortable pace, I've been able to run my tempo runs and my long runs faster, make more adaptations to my body, and this is the period where I've grown a significant amount and I've just had more energy throughout my day. Okay, good morning. We are about 4 miles into our 20-mile long run, and I'm feeling okay. I have a lot of thoughts going in my head because running is kind of a great time of the day for me to kind of process and understand why I do the things I do and confirm any pre-existing beliefs or improve on any false ones to try and grow and become a better person. Still have 16 miles left, and I'm not necessarily looking forward to this, but today is the longest run of my half marathon prep. And if at the beginning of my running journey I were to immediately jump right into a 20-mile run, there is no way I would be able to run this right now. I am a firm believer that the body can handle much more than we think it can, but push it too hard, especially in the beginning, you can put yourself at risk. I've been progressive overloading during my race prep, and I can physically feel how much faster and fit I've gotten from this prep just by slowly increasing my weekly mileage and pace over time. All right, so I am about 3 miles out from being home from this 20-mile long run. I'm honestly feeling okay. I have about 40 milligrams of caffeine coursing through my veins, and I feel okay. Progressive overloading, however, isn't about feeling okay. I have had runs where the last thing I wanted to do was get up and run because I was out till 2, 3 a.m. the night before, hanging out with friends, or I'm emotionally and physically exhausted. And progressive overloading is getting up and not only pushing your body farther, but when those days come where you're really not in the mood to run, you have to. Because if you miss those runs, you're not going to be building up that mileage. The last 3 miles of this long run flew by, and it left me feeling ready to keep conquering my goals. Alrighty, so we just wrapped up our 20-mile long run, and it was honestly a very inspiring long run. I had thoughts of running like ultra marathons, because at the end of this long run, I was like, dude, imagine having to do this 5 more times to run 100 miles or 4 more times or whatever it is, and that just fires me up. Like, doing difficult things like that, it really does. About 4 months ago ish, I don't even know, could be longer, when I started my training, I was running about 30-ish miles a week, and now I'm running almost 50 miles a week, and this is like peak training right now. So over the course of 4 months, I gained about 20 miles per week through this progressive overloading process. And a good rule of thumb that I've heard that I generally stick to. It's not a huge concern of mine, but it should be. But I do stay within these guidelines, is that you should gain about 10% a week of weekly mileage. But I am not incredibly exhausted. My calves are burning. My legs feel very depleted, which they 100% are. And progressive overloading will take you closer to your goals. But if you're not eating the right foods also alongside with it, like enough calories, enough protein, carbs, you will never adapt and grow to get you closer to your running goal. I once heard a quote from Nick Bare saying, once you train fueled, you will never train fasted again. I have never had a shocking experience to show me the difference between fueled and fasted running, but every time I eat carbs around my workout, I feel noticeably better. All right, so we just got back from our 20-mile long run, and my legs are slightly toast. Not terrible. I think that caffeine's still jittering through my veins a little bit, but I have a big monster bowl of carbohydrates, oats, banana, specifically to eat carbs around my workouts, which is huge for running. I used to run while fasted, or sometimes when my stomach was full, just because I didn't really put much thought into the timing of my meals, and both these strategies led to fatigue and some stomach discomfort. But I eventually figured out a practice that works for me to stay energized during my run, which is I just eat something high carb and light before my runs, like an apple with honey, and after a run, I shove a bunch of carbs into my stomach with a big bowl of oats, honey, and fruit, and this strategy has given me a noticeable increase in my daily energy. Oh my gosh, my legs are toast. 7-mile recovery run has been complete. I am physically drained right now. I cannot wait for tomorrow's rest day to recoup, recover, and regrow, which is exactly this topic. Recovery for me is a touchy topic because I do focus on getting those 8 hours of sleep a night, eating a bunch of protein and carbs, stretching my body, and giving my body time to rest. But a big factor for me, which was one of the reasons why I said it earlier, that when I ran my easy runs slower, I gained like 15-20 seconds per mile. It was also because I was focusing on my mental and emotional health. I am realizing that how you feel, like mentally and emotionally, isn't only how you feel, it's also how you perform. What I personally mean by this is by managing any stressors in your life. I struggle with feelings of overwhelm and anxiety, and when I have a really stressful day, my performance in my runs drops by sometimes of upwards 20 seconds per mile. All right, since you made it to the end of the video, I wanted to give you a bonus tip, and if you're wondering why I'm filming in between cars right now, it is because it is incredibly windy and I don't want the audio to be bad. This bonus tip might be obvious, but it is probably the most important factor. No, I think it is the most important factor when it comes to running. Consistency compounds. A quote that I live my life by is that it's better to be consistently good rather than occasionally great. And if you keep this in mind, alongside balancing your easy, long, and tempo runs, progressive overloading, eating carbs before and after your workouts, and to make sure you take care of yourself both mentally and physically, you will be right on your way to crushing your next race and performing at your highest potential possible. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Still in between the cars here, and I want to make something clear as I wrapped up this video. I am not the most inspired runner out there, but I am inspired to go out and tackle my goals, and I think running is a great way to show that. And I want to build a strong community of people who are willing to also go out and tackle their goals and achieve their dreams and what they want to do. So if that is you, I would love it if you could join up the Sculpted Beast Squad, and we could do some great things together. I promise you, boys, it will happen. All right, keep grinding out there. Getting a little windy. We out.